welcome. Today we're going to be going over the general knowledge portion for the commercial exam for the DMV. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going over the commercial exam that the school provides to you. We're going to be going over all the questions and the answers. And then if any question I feel needs a little bit more of explanation, then I will go into further explanation. But for now, we're just going to go over each question and each answer. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right in. So for the commercial driver's license general knowledge test number 1. So what we have here, at first, which of these statements is true about bad weather driving conditions? Now, for the first one, you have the road is more slippery when the rain continues than when the rain begins. For the second option, you have when the temperature drops, bridges will freeze before roads. And for the third option, you have driving conditions become more dangerous as the temperature rises. So now, for this one, we have, for the answer, is going to be when the temperature drops, bridges will freeze before roads. Now, for this one, I mean, just in general, for the most part, since bridges normally are, there's nothing really underneath to really insulate the bridge. That's why normally the bridges will freeze before the roads, right? Normally the temperature will drop a lot faster on a bridge than it will on a normal surface. Okay. Now for the next one, which of these is not a proper use of vehicle lights? Now for the first option, you have flashing your brake lights to stop someone from tailgating, flashing your brake lights to warn someone behind you that you are slowing down. And for the third one, turning your headlights during the day when visibility is reduced. Now for this one, we have option number A is going to be the correct answer. Okay, flashing your brake lights to stop someone from tailgating. Now, the reason this is going to be the answer, right, is not the proper use of using your vehicle lights, is because for this part, normally when somebody's tailgating you, you want to find every possible way to basically not be in their way, right? Obviously, in the event that you're not able to either move to the right so that the vehicle can pass safely on your left-hand side, normally you want to just stay in whatever position, whatever lane you're in, just continue driving. You want to basically just ignore the vehicle behind you. The only time that you will continue to recognize that vehicle is in the event that traffic does start to slow down. At that point, you want to make sure that you stop with a good enough distance. Normally it's twice the length of the vehicle, so that way the person behind you has enough time to go ahead and stop the vehicle. Okay, that also leads us into our next question, which is how far should a driver look ahead of the vehicle while driving? Now, for this question, the answer is going to be anywhere from 12 to 15 seconds. Now, some might ask, okay, how far is 12 to 15 seconds? Now, 12 to 15 seconds, it's all based on basically how fast that you're driving. Right? So normally if you're driving, let's say at 55 miles per hour on the freeway, that could be about a mile down the road. Anywhere from a mile to a mile and a half. Now, if you're driving on a city street, going a lot slower, 12 to 15 seconds could be a little bit longer, anywhere from 2 miles, 2.5, around there, ahead of the vehicle. So you're able to make quick changes if need be. Okay. And like I said, that also varies depending on the speed of the vehicle. Now the next question is going to be, which of these is a good thing to remember when crossing or entering traffic with a heavy vehicle? Now the first answer is going to be, the best way to cross traffic is to pull the vehicle part way across the road and block one lane while waiting for the other to clear. Second option is, heavy vehicles are easy to see. You can count on other drivers to move out of your way or slow down for you. That is very untrue. And option number C, heavy vehicles need a larger gap in traffic than cars. So now for question number 4, we have the answer is going to be C. Heavy vehicles need larger gaps in traffic than cars. Now, for this question, for some people it might be self-explanatory. For others, it may not be. Now, heavy vehicles need larger gaps in traffic. Why? Right? Why would they need a larger gap? Now, normally these vehicles, they need a larger gap because a couple things. One, these vehicles take a longer time to slow down. So normally, these vehicles take anywhere from 3 times the truck length for it to slow down based on how heavy it is. And they also take about the same amount of time to speed up, right? So let's say if you're making a turn and you're trying to gauge if traffic is a good enough distance away for you to merge into the lane. Normally you want to wait till the coast is clear because it takes normally a heavy vehicle a long time to get up to speed of traffic. Okay. All right. So for number 5, we have, in your mirror you see a car approaching from the rear. The next time you check your mirror, you don't see the car. What do you do to change lanes? For this one, question number 5, the answer is going to be option number C. You want to wait until you're sure the car isn't in your blind spot. Okay. Now, some might ask, okay, well, what are the blind spots? Well, on a heavy-duty vehicle, or on a semi, it has anywhere from 4 to 6 different blind spots. Okay. So the 4 that we're just going to mention 4 for now is going to be on the back left side of the tractor pulling the trailer. Okay. Then your second area is going to be the back left hand side of the trailer. Let me see if I can pull it up so you guys have a better visual. So we're going to go to here we go. So we're going to switch screens. Screen number 1. Okay, so as you see here, the field of vision using your convex mirror. Okay, so here it's going to show you. So this right here is what you see. So from here to here, and then back up, is what you see in the mirror for the person driving the vehicle, right? Here, here, and here, right? So what does that leave you with the blind spot, right? If you're looking now, the convex mirror, okay, the convex mirror, what it is, it's the one that's it's in a circular shape, right? Or it has some sort of it looks like a bubble. Okay, So those are to show you the blind spots of the trailer. Okay, but normally when you're using your regular mirrors, those areas are almost completely invisible to the driver. So if you go upwards, let's see, let's go down, see if it shows on the handbook where those blind spots are. Okay, I don't think it shows where those blind spots are. Alright, so for this one, it's going to be under seeing. Okay, is if you're trying to see exactly where it talks about it in the handbook, that is going to be where it talks about it in the handbook. Let's switch back over to this window. Okay. So now, going back to the test. Okay. Back here. Bring back the highlighter. So now, when should you schedule your driving? Now, your driving, normally you want to schedule for the hours that you're normally awake. Okay? That's when you want to normally schedule your driving. Now, let me see, it's still showing. Okay, here we go. So yes, so normally for this question, for the hours that you are normally awake, so you should schedule your driving for the hours that you are normally awake. So hours that a normal person is awake, so that'd be anywhere from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, more or less. This is just a rough estimate, right? Some people are night owls, so you stay up later. Some people wake up really early in the morning, so we could say at 4:30. You never know. Okay, but it's normally within the hours of the day which you are normally awake. Okay. Now on question number 7, it says you may get hung up on railroad tracks when. So for this question, question number 7, the answer is going to be the tracks have a steep approach. Okay. Now what does that mean exactly? So when the tracks have a steep approach, is going to be they have like a crest, right? So it's steep coming into the track and it's steep exiting the track, right? So at that point when the trailer tries to come up and over, it's going to get hung up at the at that top point. Okay? So now for number 8. After driving for several hours on a long trip, you are feeling sleepy. What is the best thing to do? Now, a normal person normally should know what to do if you're feeling sleepy. But in the event that you're not sure, so for this one, the answer for this one is going to be park in a safe place and take a nap. Now, what is a safe place, right? Because this could also be another question that comes up. A safe place to take a nap is not just going to be on the side of the road, okay? Normally a safe place is considered like a rest stop, right? Somewhere outside of the areas of traffic, right? So if you can get off the freeway, find a rest stop, or somewhere safe where you can normally park the truck and take a nap, that is where you want to go ahead and park. Okay, but not on the side of the highway. So the next one, if you need to leave the road in a traffic emergency, what should you do? So now for this one, you want to avoid braking until your speed has dropped to about 20 miles an hour. Okay, now the reason for this is because in the event that you have to, so let's say the car in front of you slams on the brake, you don't want to slam on your brakes for a couple reasons. One, it's gonna throw your vehicle into a skid, right? So the trailer could possibly jackknife. Now, what is a jackknife, right? This brings up the question, what is a jackknife? A jackknife, so normally the truck and trailer, right, they travel right behind each other, right? So let's say we're going downwards. So when you hit the brakes of the trailer along with the brakes of the tractor, because it's not as heavy, right, as a trailer, the tractor is going to push backwards towards the trailer. Now, normally when that happens, if the trailer brakes are already, if the wheels are already in a skid, the momentum of the trailer is going to start to come around, right? And that's called a jackknife. And that's what you don't want, right? That's why in this question, they tell you, you want to avoid braking until your speed has dropped to about 20 miles an hour, okay? Question number 10. Which of these three statements is true about shipping hazardous material? Okay, now for this one, the answer is going to be C. A 4-inch diamond-shaped hazardous materials label must be on the container. So it's exactly in the shape of a diamond, right? Which normally identifies what kind of cargo it is that you're carrying inside the trailer. Okay, and that has to be visible on all sides of the trailer. All right, stab braking should not be used on vehicles with. Now, this is going to be anti-lock brakes. Now, the reason for this is because stab braking is a technique that was used, obviously, before there were anti-lock brakes. Why? Because that's basically what your anti-lock brakes do, is they don't allow the brakes to fully lock, right? It keeps them from coming to a complete lock. That's why sometimes out on the road, you'll see when you look at skid marks, especially for trailers, you don't see a singular line, right? Sometimes you see almost as if the trailer was like hopping, right? So that's the anti-lock brakes taking effect, right? It's locking the wheel and releasing it, locking and releasing, right? And what is that? What is the point of that? That is so that the wheel can grab traction, right? So it doesn't hold it in a skid. Now, number 12, when you double your speed, right, it takes about blank times as much distance to stop. Now, for this one, it's going to be when you double your speed, it's going to take about 4 times as much the distance to stop, right? So if it was originally only 2 truck lengths, now it's going to take you 4 truck lengths to bring the vehicle to a stop. Okay. All right, continuing on to question number 13. You're driving a long vehicle that makes wide turns. You want to make a left turn from Elm Street into Oak Street. There are 2 left turn lanes marked A and B. Let's see. On Elm Street and on Oak Street, there's a 4-lane street with 2 lanes in each direction. You should. Okay, now for this one, we don't have an image, but normally there's an image that goes with this one. let's see. Let me see if I could add an image. So for this one, it's going to be here. Let's add another one. Here. Okay. So this one you have, there are two left turn lanes. This, we're gonna say this one is A, this one is B. Okay, and over here you have 4 lanes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now what the question is asking you, okay, which lane should you use to make the left, right? Now, if there's 2 left turn lanes, you always want to use the lane on the outside, okay? The reason you want to use the lane on the outside is because normally for commercial vehicles, when you're making that left turn, you want to go out and then hook to the left, okay? Now, if you were to go out and then hook, right, the vehicle on that outside lane, if you're on lane A, which is the inside lane, right, and you do that kind of a turn, the vehicle on the outside lane is going to collide with you. Okay, so normally you want to use lane B and finish at lane B, which is going to be the outside lane. So from B to B, so that way the vehicles on the inside are able to turn safely without you colliding with them. So the answer to this question, let's see if I can continue to highlight. I'm gonna cut this, go back here. The answer for number 13 is going to be lane B. Okay. Number 14. Which of these statements is true? These statements about driving in blank for is true. Okay, so this one is, let me adjust it. About driving in fog. So for this question, the answer is going to be, assume that the fog will become thicker as you enter, after you enter it. Okay, so sometimes, you know, from a good distance away, the fog doesn't really normally look that thick, right? But the more you drive into it, then you can see how dense it becomes, and at that point, to the point where you can't even see. Okay, so always assume that the fog will become thicker after you enter it. So drive with more caution, is what it's telling you. So now, the next question, you're driving a heavy vehicle at 35 miles an hour. The speed limit is 55. The safest speed for your vehicle is For question number 15, the answer is going to be 35 miles an hour. Okay. So yeah, normally you want to keep it normally anywhere for the DMV test. Normally they tell you only want to keep it about 5 miles under the speed limit, which is going to be about 50 miles an hour. But for the DMV exam, the answer is going to be 35. Okay, so the answers are different. Which of these statements is true about double clutching and shifting? So for number 16 is going to be, you can use the tachometer to tell you when to shift. Now, what is a tachometer? The tachometer is going to be the RPMs, right? The gauge for the revolutions per minute. Okay. So normally when the tachometer gets really high or to the point where it stops and it doesn't go up anymore, that means you need to shift into the next gear. Okay. For number 17, if you do not have a CB radio, what is the first thing you should do at a collision scene? So now for 17, the answer is going to be protect the area. Okay. You do want to make sure you set up your triangles, set up your flares, to make sure that other vehicles don't collide with you or the people that are already in the collision. Now number 18, if you have a heavy load that is slowing you down on a upgrade, so you're going up the hill, okay, what should you do? Now for this one is going to be, you want to try and shift into a lower gear. The next one, you can see this sign on a vehicle ahead of you. What does this sign mean? I think a lot of us have seen this sign before. On the back of tractors, it's going to be a slow moving vehicle. Number 20, one reason that dry bulk tanks require special care. Okay, dry bulk tanks is because the load can easily shift. Now, what is a dry bulk tank? The dry bulk tank, what it is essentially is the tank, right, where you would carry liquid. Okay, and liquid could be gas, could be cement, could be milk, anything of that sort. And yes, these loads, right, as you're driving, can shift forward or backwards. Now, on some tanks, they have what's called a baffle, right? What a baffle is partitions, right, or little walls inside the tank, so that when the fluid goes forward or the fluid goes backwards, it doesn't go forward with as much force or backward with as much force, because the walls in the tank are restricting it. Okay, and those are called baffles. Now, number 21. Which of these statements is true about engine overheating? For number 21, is going to be never remove the radiator cap on a pressurized system until it is cooled. Okay, you don't want to remove it because the system, obviously, one, it's hot, two, it has a lot of pressure. So if you remove the cap, all the coolant will shoot out, which at that point you're not in a good position to be in. The next question, which of these statements is true about warning other drivers of a stopped vehicle? So for this one, it's going to be move the rear reflective triangle back if the driver's vision is obscured within 500 feet. Okay, so this could be if you're on a turn, right? Normally your triangles, there's certain sections as to how far you're supposed to put them back depending on where you're stopped. So what this question is talking about is if you're stopped on a turn, let's say, or if there's what can I say, a lot of if there's rain or fog, right, and the driver's not able to see you, you want to give them a good enough warning so that they can stop in time. For number 23, a key principle to remember about loading cargo is to keep the load. This is going to be balance in the cargo area. So this means not all the way in the front, not all the way in the back. It's all dependent on how much load you're carrying, right? So if you're carrying a bunch of different pallets, you want to keep it spread across the trailer. You don't want to put it all in one spot. Okay. Number 24, which of these statements is not true? So for number 24 is going to be, a drinker can control how fast his or her body absorbs or gets rid of alcohol. So this is true. So you can't really control how fast your body gets rid of alcohol, right? Or absorb how fast it absorbs it. Number 25, drivers of trucks and truck tractors with cargo must check that the cargo is well secured within the first. So this one is going to be within the first 50 miles of the trip. Okay. Number 26. Which of these statements is true about rear drive wheel braking skids? So this is going to be the second axle of the truck, not the trailer. So the axles is the set of tires, right? So you have your first set of tires, which is what steers the truck. Your second set of tires, which is going to be your drive axle. Okay, those are that's the axle that actually moves the truck forward, right? So when those tires go into a skid, what happens? So this is going to be, the trailer can push the towing vehicle sideways. Number 27. When driving at night, what should you do? You want to make sure that you adjust your speed to keep your stopping distance within your sight distance. So if your sight distance is greatly reduced, you want to make sure that you also greatly reduce your speed. Number 28, the total weight of a powered unit, the trailer, and the cargo is called, so all of it together is called gross combination weight. So the combination of the tractor and the trailer is the total weight of the vehicle. What is the proper way to hold the steering wheel? The proper way to hold the steering wheel is going to be both hands on opposite sides of the wheel. Right? Not one at the bottom, not one at the top. It's on both sides of the wheel. Number 30. Which of these happens when a tire blows out at highway speeds? So this is going to be if a tire blows out on the trailer or on the back of the truck, you're going to get a vibrating feeling, okay, coming through the steering wheel. Number 31. When confronted with an aggressive driver, what is the first thing you should do? Is you should make every attempt to get out of their way, right? So as I was talking about earlier in the video, if somebody's tailgating you, you don't want to attempt to do any evasive maneuvers. You just want to either stay in place, or if you can, move to the side, so that way they can go ahead and be on their way. Number 32. When stopped on a one-way highway, you should place your reflective triangle at. So this one is going to be 10, 100, and 200 feet. So what is a one-way highway? That means you have one lane going in each direction. So one lane going north, one lane going south. Number 33, for first offense of driving a commercial vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs, you will lose your CDL for at least, so this one's going to be for at least 1 year. So no drinking and driving, please. So number 34, according to the Commercial Vehicle Handbook, you should limit the use of your horn. Or why should you limit the use of your horn? So for this one, it's kind of obvious. It could startle the drivers, so you never know. So, you know, and whenever you honk the horn, either the city horn or the country horn, you can cause somebody to react a certain way. So, I mean, everybody reacts differently. So you want to try and reduce the use of your horn as much as you can. Number 35, what should you do when you see a hazard in the roadway? So for number 35, it's going to be, you want to use your four-way flashers and or brake lights to warn other drivers. So normally a hazard in the roadway could be a tire or a stopped vehicle, right, or an obstruction in the road. Normally when trucks have to slow down, like in a short distance or quickly, they'll throw on their emergency flashers to warn the drivers behind them. For number 36, a round black on yellow warning sign. Okay, what is it? This is going to be slow down, look, and listen for number 36. This is the railroad sign. Okay. Number 37, when driving in cold weather, your tire tread should. So driving in cold weather is going to be provide enough traction to steer and push the vehicle through the snow. Okay, so always check your tire tread. Number 38, when driving on grades, which of these is the best choice for a safe speed? This is going to be B. Based on your vehicle and its cargo, select the speed that is safe within the posted speed. Now, normally for steep downgrades or steep upgrades, normally the posted speed for trucks is going to be a lot lower. So let's say for the Grapevine, for instance, which is here in California, the Grapevine is I believe it's an 8% grade going upwards, and also an 8% grade going downwards. The posted speed limit for trucks is about 35 miles an hour, which is very, for the most part, very slow. So that way you're able to keep control of your vehicle on the way up and also on the way down. Number 39, a good indication that ice is forming on the roadway is your outside mirrors begin to have ice on them. So remember earlier in the video, I was talking about ice forming on bridges. So same concept, right? Normally, because your mirrors really aren't attached to anything solid, mostly it's just the brackets. So the brackets, because of the wind that's hitting them, along with the ice cold water or snow in that matter, it's going to freeze a lot faster than anything on the truck or anything else on the truck for that. Number 40, your vehicle has hydraulic brakes. While traveling on a level road, you press the brake pedal and find out it goes to the floor. Which of these statements is true? So for this one is going to be pumping the brake pedal will generate enough pressure to stop the vehicle. Now this is normally because there's either air right in the line. So at that point you want to keep pumping the brake until it's firm to create enough pressure. This is so that the pistons inside the rotor clamp onto the rotor, or the pistons inside the caliper clamp onto the rotor. Number 41. Which of these statements is not checked in a pre-trip inspection? This is going to be B, the amount of fuel in the vehicle. Normally this is not checked in a pre-trip inspection. Pre-trip inspections are normally to check the general condition of the outside of the vehicle. So this is going to be tires, fluids like coolant, oil, transmission fluid, headlights, tail lights, reverse lights, windshields, mirrors, things of that sort, to make sure those are all functioning before you take off. Number 42, if you're stopped on a one-way or divided highway, you should place your reflective triangles at the following locations. So this is the same question as we had before. You want to make sure it's going to be 10, 100, and 200 feet. Number 43, you're driving a vehicle at 55 miles an hour on dry pavement. How much total stopping distance will you need to bring it to a stop? So this is going to be the length of a football field. So also we went over this question before. If it's going to take, twice the length of the vehicle, depending on your speed, and if you double the speed, it's going to take 4 times the length of your vehicle. Okay, so this is about 4 times the length of your vehicle, which is the length of a football field. Number 44. Which of these statements should receive extra attention during winter weather inspection? So for this one is going to be the exhaust. Okay. Now the reason you want to make sure that you check your exhaust, normally out your exhaust, it could potentially form ice, right? And that will restrict airflow, right, coming from the motor. Okay. Now number 45. Which of these is not a type of retarder? Is going to be robotic. Okay. Now, what a retarder is a brake. The retarder is a braking mechanism for the vehicle or for a commercial vehicle, right? So it uses basically the pressure from the engine. It generates compression to slow down the vehicle. Okay. For number 46, which of the following does not provide extra gears on some trucks? And this is going to be automatic transmissions. Normally automatic transmissions, even nowadays, we're in the year 2024, we have automatic transmissions with 10 gears. Before, that was unheard of. It was only up to anywhere from 7 to 8 gears. Okay. But so far, I mean, with a commercial truck, you can get up to 18 gears. Now, 47. Where must you keep the shipping papers when transporting hazardous materials? Now, for this one, it's going to be in a pouch near the driver's door, okay? Or on the seat, so somewhere nearby, right? In the event that an emergency happens, you want to always have those papers on hand. So that other people or yourself can know exactly what's inside the trailer. Number 48, which of these statements is true about backing a heavy vehicle? This is going to be, you should always avoid backing whenever you can, which normally you can't. But if it's avoidable, you want to go ahead and avoid it. Number 49, which of these is a good thing to do when driving at night? This is going to be B, drive slowly enough to stop within the range of your headlights. So again, when driving, let's say back with fog, right? At that point, you want to greatly reduce your speed. So at that point, you're not trying to make any last minute maneuvers, which could throw you into a skid or a jackknife. Number 50, the safest method for using in-vehicle communications equipment is going to be C, pull off the road in a safe legal place to use the equipment. So if you need to use your phone or a CB radio, you want to go ahead and pull off the side of the road so you can go ahead and use that. Now this is the first questionnaire packet for the school. So this is just to give you a better idea of what you need to study, some of the knowledge that you need to know, a little bit more of an in-depth review of what the questions are asking for. Now keep in mind, these are not all the questions that are on the exam. There are more questions than this, which we only have a certain set. Now, the best thing to do is to always reference the manual book. The manual book, it's not going to lie to you. It's exactly what you need. It tells you all the information. Now, this just gives you kind of questions that are pulled from the manual book to kind of further your knowledge. Okay. Always, anytime you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or any way that we can make this video better, always feel free to contact the office. I'll leave the office information at the end of the video. Well, yeah, if you guys have anything that I could add to this, always feel free to reach out. Thank you guys. My name is Sergio. I'm one of the instructors at GSF. Have a great